For the following exercises, use the graphs to write the formula for a polynomial function of least degree. So when I look at this first one, it gives a lot of details here, so we can get somewhat specific with this one. Now, if you look at the other graphs, they were telling us about y-intercepts and all that business. And this one's no different. If you look at here, it shows very clearly what those y-intercepts are, all the x-intercepts for both of these problems. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get into all of that together here. So that's going to be how we're going to work these problems out here. Okay, so first things first, let's take a look at A now. So we're looking for this f of x function here. Okay. So now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to note all my zeros. So I have one here, 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 and here. And if you notice all of those zeros there, those are all going to create factors for my polynomial. And I can say that they're all odd because they all actually go through the x-axis. And they don't bounce off, so therefore they're all odd multiplicity. So I'm going to go with just one for now, because it did say of least degree. So I could say 3, but then that wouldn't be least degree. Where I have an x cubed there. So anyways, so this is going to be an x plus 4, because when I plug in that negative 4 for x, I'm going to get 0. And that's what I want. So then x plus 3, x plus 1, x plus 3, and x plus 4. And as you can see, that's where they're all coming from. Oh, hang on. 2 typos already. That should be a minus 3. And I'm glad I took a second look at that, because when I plug in the 3, it's going to be 0. So 3 minus 3 is 0. So that's why I do that. Easy mistake, so be careful. So anyways, now we have this set up here. And now notice this. It's rising on the left and lowering on the right. So I think of it like a decreasing line. So that would tell me then that it would have a negative slope, which means my leading coefficient would be negative. So there has to be a negative here. Now we're almost done. Now to get more specific with this function, we use the y-intercept. The y-intercept is -1. Not just -1, it's 0, -1. So that means if I plug in 0 for x, I'm supposed to get -1. So now I'm just going to do that for this function here. So I'm going to take negative x plus 4 plus 3 plus 1, x minus 3, x minus 4, and that's supposed to equal -1 when I plug in 0 for all of my x's. So I get a 0, 0, 0, 0, and 0. And then when I multiply all those out, remember, I'm supposed to get a -1 when I'm done. So when I multiply all those out, I'm going to get a -4. I'm going to leave the negative on the out for now. 3, 1, -3, -4. And remember, I'm supposed to get it equals -1. So now all of this together, when I multiply it, that's really going to be 12 times 12, which is 144, and a negative at that. So if this is supposed to equal -1 on the right side here, I'm going to have to multiply this by a 1 over 144. So this means when I look at the original, I would have had to squeeze in here a 144. Or not a 144, excuse me. A 1 over 144. And then that would be my answer. Hopefully that's okay for you. That's kind of a tough idea to incorporate here. But this would be the function that we see above. Because when we plug in at 0, we got to get that 1, and now we will. Because when I take this -144 and multiply it by the 1 over 144, then I would get that -1 that I was desiring. Okay, so there's our answer. All right, let's try number B now. Okay, hopefully this one's a little easier. That was crazy to have to say, hey, I got to multiply it by -1 over 144. So anyways, let's take a look at this one now. So this one says I have a 0 here, and that goes through, it's odd. Here's another one at -2, so -4, -2, both odd multiplicity. And then at 3, it bounces off, so that's going to be even multiplicity. So odd, odd, even. So odd, odd, even. Okay, so that means we're going to have to set these up now. So I'm going to have I'm going to call it g of x since we're in the same place here. So I'm going to say, okay, x plus 4, x plus 2. And then the last one here is going to be x minus 3, and that has to have at least a 2 there. Since we're going least degree, I could go 4, 6, 8, because those are all even too, and those could get me the same graph. But it said least degree, so that we're going with the smallest, which would be 2. Okay, now we're going to look at this thing, and right away both ends go up, so it's a positive there. I always leave a little bit of room there to see if it's going to be positive or negative, but since they both go up on the ends there, it's going to be positive, so don't have to worry about that. Now I have my intercept here, and that intercept is 0, 3. So this means when I plug in 0 for x here, it should equal 3. So that's going to be 0 plus 4, 0 plus 2, and 0 minus 3 squared. And remember, that's supposed to equal 3 when we're done. All right, so this is going to be 4 times 2 times 9. So 4 times 9 is 36. 36 times 2 is 72. So this is going to be 72 here. And remember, it's supposed to equal 3. So that means I need 3 over 72. And then if I had that, the 72s would cancel. I would get 3 equals 3. So I'm looking for 3 over 72. And that does simplify, and I should simplify it. I shouldn't just write 3 over 72 in front of that gx there. But I should simplify that. And 3 goes into both those numbers. And 24 times 3 is 72. So that would be a 1, that would be a 24. So 1/24 I need in front of that. So let me make a little room here. That's going to be 1 over 24. Now, I don't think your homework is going to be as difficult as these. I think they keep it a lot simpler. But I do want you to be aware of how everything kind of plays together here to give us a nice answer. So there's our next answer for part B. There's our function here that we see above.